Discretionary effort. It's a phrase that's been around. Here's where I get to be a little professorial for a few minutes. It's a phrase that's been around for about 85 years, but it was defined by an early industrial psychologist as that increment of human effort, the expenditure of which is solely at the discretion of its owner. That increment of human effort, the expenditure of which is solely at the discretion of its owner. What does that mean? It's what we do because we want to, not because we have to. See, when you can get people performing at that level because they're doing it, and they're doing it at the level they're doing it at because they want to, not because they feel like they have to in order to keep their job, then you see a huge change in the output and in the success of your organization. I have demonstrated, or I've depicted it mathematically on the screen, is the difference between that of which a person is capable and that which is required to keep their jobs. See this gap right here, folks? This is discretionary effort, and this is what we have to get out of every single individual person working in our organizations. I don't care if they're the assistant director of something or if they're a new person coming in working in a hospitality field, in an entry-level field, one that doesn't require a great deal of specialized training. I don't care what the role is. If you can get people to work in this range, you've got it. This is the most profitable morsel of effort your people can offer you. Because by definition, you cannot pay for discretionary effort. You can only lead and inspire it out of people. And when you do, you see a huge difference in your output. Discretionary effort. Here's something we know as a fact from studying effort. That effort is a conscious decision. How many of you have teenagers at home? Can I get an amen on this? Effort is a conscious decision. It's something that we plan to do. It's not something that just happens. And so people make that decision every day based on not so much how much are they getting paid, what are their employee benefits and health plans, but on what's in it for them. What value do they derive from doing the work and from doing it at that level? Some of you will recognize this fellow on the screen, Randy Moss, NFL player. At the time that this particular poster was made, he was with the Minnesota Vikings. Now, Randy Moss, arguably one of the most talented players playing the game, certainly the beginning of his career was not always as consistent as he might have been. And so in about the year 2000, 2001, when he was with the Vikings, at the end of a particularly disastrous game, which the Vikings lost, an ESPN reporter came up to Randy Moss and said, I've noticed that, in some games you can't do any wrong. Just get that ball anywhere in your zip code, and man, there's going to be something happening. Other games, like today, it's as though you weren't even there. He said to Randy Moss, how do you explain the fact that some days you're all over it and other days it's just a disaster? And here's what Randy Moss said. He said, I play when I want to play. I play when I want to play. Wow. Here's a man with a lot more talent than probably anybody in this room has when it comes to football, and making $6 million a year, and he has the audacity to say, I play when I want to play. But before we get too judgmental, isn't that how most of us probably respond to the workplace? And so I think it's natural, it's human nature. Your job as a leader is to get people to want to play every day and to play at the top of their game.